Hi, it's Darnell at Way of Home Recipes, and today I'm going to be cooking up a whole turkey in the Gourmia French door XL digital air fry oven. We'll see how it does cooking up a whole turkey. So let's get cooking right now. So before I get the turkey out, I just wanted to show you some things. I've got in this pot here 1 ounce of butter that I'm going to be melting, and along with melting the butter, I'm going to be mixing it with a 1/4 cup of extra light olive oil. So just putting that in there, and I'm just going to basically melt and mix that together. And I'm going to be seasoning the turkey with some freshly cracked black pepper as well as some applewood smoked sea salt. Okay, so here's the turkey. It is a 10-pound pasture-raised turkey. So I'm going to be talking about it some more and what was done even before you got to see it in a moment. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start preheating the cooker, and while it's preheating, I'm going to be basically coating the outside of the bird with the oil and butter mixture and seasoning it while I talk to you. But I'm going to turn the cooker on, and I'm going to hit roast. I'm going to go down to 360 degrees Fahrenheit for temperature. For the time, going to try and go up to 2 hours, may need 2 hours, may need more, I don't know. But actually I forgot about the, well, it looks like the most I can do is 99 minutes, so I'll have to live with that, and if I need to add more then I will, but maybe I won't need more than 99, we'll see. I'm going to also need to put the temperature probes and things. I guess I can do that now in advance of actually doing the seasoning and such, so give me a sec while I get the temperature probes. So I got the iGrill 2 here. You can find this, if you look in the video description, there's a link to my Amazon shop, the Wave Oven Recipes Amazon shop. If it doesn't say Wave Oven Recipes on the Amazon shop, it's not mine. But I'm going to take a probe and pop it into the breast and pop another one into the thigh. You don't really want to hit the bone when you put it into the breast. You want to kind of, you know, have it in the meat but not into a bone. And so I guess that's kind of in the thigh there. But I've got my 360 99 minutes, and I'm going to hit start so things start. Oh, I turned it off. Sorry. Have to go back again to roast in 360 and 99 minutes. But to talk to you about this this turkey some, I brined the turkey. I basically did that ahead of time overnight. I let the turkey was frozen to start, and I let it basically defrost for 5 days. Then on the 5th day, I put it into the brine, brined it overnight, brined it for a little over 12 hours. Should be an hour a pound is usually a good rule of thumb, but went a little longer because I wanted to basically take my time and just didn't get to it. But after that, let me hit start here. After that, I basically got it out the brine. I used some paper towels to dry it off. If you want to rinse after the brining, you can rinse if you want to rinse things off. I just pat it with some paper towels, and then I basically trussed it with some cooking twine. And I will say, if you want to see a video that really details a full brining process, on my D-Grill channel, I have a video where I did a whole turkey in the Weber Genesis propane gas grill, and in that one I detail, and it was the first one I did of a turkey on that channel. I detailed the brining process fully in that video if you wanted to see a lot of details. But the brine that I used for this turkey was a brine that I bought from a local farmer's market, and it was an organic brine that they had available, so I'm using that. It's got a mix of a lot of different ingredients in the brine. And I wanted to mention that a lot of YouTube channels are not going to show you a full brining process, and I'm not doing it in this particular video because it's just a messy process. It can be a messy process. Even getting this turkey out of the brine, I thought I got all the fluid out of the turkey, and as I was getting it out of the brine bag, some fluid like popped out all over the place, made a bit of a mess. And that's how it can go with brining, but it's well worth it. You know, the mess is worth it for how it moisturizes, tenderizes the meat, gives it a really nice flavor. It's a really good process, in my opinion, to go through for any hassle that it may cause. And as far as trussing a turkey, I'll say there's some people that can truss a turkey on camera really nicely. I'm that kid, for you who know, who didn't get the A in art class, so I don't try and demonstrate my trussing skills on camera anymore. I don't know if I probably did try in some old videos, and after feeling that I sufficiently embarrassed myself enough, I don't. But usually, and I did with this turkey, usually if you do your trussing well, you can do it with just one piece of cooking twine. Just wrap it around and truss things up. So this makes a little noise. I'm going to do the pepper now. Alright, now I'm going to take the Applewood smoked sea salt and sprinkle that all over. I'm not trying to move the turkey around and make sure that I get seasoning on every nook and cranny on every side of the turkey. You know, I'm just basically putting it over the top, and you know, I've done a lot of turkeys, and I guess you get to a point where you're just like, you know, I'm just going to put the seasonings over the top, and that's going to be it. So, just finishing up here. Once things are done with the preheat, then we'll get it on in there. And I like to, for those who are used to this channel or seen a lot of cooks on this channel, you know, I'm not a big fan of carryover, even though I know all about carryover, and there's well over 1,800 videos on this channel now, and many I talk about. You know, I respect you who like carryover. It's just not something that I do a lot of. Rarely will I use carryover, but it's just not my thing. So, gonna let things finish preheating and then get the turkey on into the cooker here. Alright, time to add food. And I wanted to mention also, if you want to do a homemade brine, when I did this in the Ninja Foodie XL Pro air fry oven, and I used a 12-pound turkey in that one, I did a homemade brine in that one, and I, you know, showed how you can make your own homemade brine. So closing things up there. So gonna let things go ahead and cook. Gonna let it cook until the breast and the thigh are at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to try and move the camera so you see a better view of how the turkey looks in there. This turkey, I will say, has a breast that is kind of sticking up more than I've seen in a lot of other turkeys. I don't know if maybe that's a pasture-raised thing or what. So now you probably are able to see the turkey much better. And you can see the turkey is, it fits, but it seems like, you know, it's going up a little high in the cooker. And like I said, I don't know if that's a pasture-raised turkey thing or what, but this turkey has a breastbone that sticks up pretty high. You know, I've done a 12-pound turkey in the Ninja Foodie XL Pro, which is a much smaller cooker overall. And that 12-pound turkey fit in there just fine. So having a 10-pound turkey that kind of sticks up, I mean, it's not like hitting, you know, the temperature coils or anything like that, but still, the breast of it sticks up a little more than I've seen in some other turkeys, is what I'm saying. But this cooker is supposed to be able to hold up to a 20-pound turkey, and I do believe it probably could, as long as you don't have a turkey that's, you know, got a protruding breastbone or anything like that. But at any rate, we're going to let things just go ahead and cook here, and I'll bring you back later. Alright, so things have been cooking for about 80 minutes now, and the breast meat has just reached 165. The thigh meat is a little behind, it's at 156. So I'm going to let things keep going because, like I said, I like to cook things all the way to 165 in the breast and the thigh, so thigh's got a little further to go along. And as you can see, the top of the turkey is not like blackened or anything. It's not really heavily overcooked. I'm not going to go in there to cover it. I haven't gone in there to turn anything around. I've done nothing but let it cook. I do want to point out for you who like to have juices for gravies or what have you, as any juice goes down into this pan, those bottom heating elements basically burn up any juices that come down into the pan. So there's no issue of a bunch of juice coming out of the turkey and having to try and do something about a bunch of juice possibly overflowing the pan, because it's just basically getting burnt up as it comes into the pan. There is no juice, basically no juice in the pan, and it looks like there's not going to be. So for you who like to have your juices from the turkey or drippings from the turkey for what have you or whatever, that's something to think about in that regard. I'm going to let things continue to cook. I breasted at 166, thighs now at 157. So we got about 8 more degrees to go. I'll bring you back. Okay, so after 90 minutes, it was done, and so I got it on out. The breast was at 172 at that point, the thigh at 165, and so I pulled things out just now. And so you can see how the bird looks. You can let me know in a comment how you feel it looks. I'm going to spin it around, let you see the opposite side. So that was the side that was facing the back. And this is, well, I'll let you see around the back end too. Let's spin it around there. There you go. And this was the side that was facing the front. And so looks like it looks pretty good to me. I think it turned out pretty well. And look back over on this side again. I think the side facing the back, of course, got a little more browning on this side, but not a lot more. So it looks pretty nice. You can let me know in a comment what you think. I wanted to mention I didn't use any type of mat or anything on the pan, so it was a little fused to the pan when I was getting it off. You can see some of the skin got stuck to the pan. You may want to consider lining the pan with something when you put your turkey in. But I'm going to give this a little time to rest. You can give turkey, 10-15 minutes time to rest to reabsorb juices. Those juices, when it's cooking, they go into the turkey, deeper into the meat, deeper down, closer. And when you stop cooking, they come out into the meat more. So a lot of that juice, that's why usually after cooking, after things have rested for a while, you'll see more juice kind of all over your cutting board and such, because of those fluids that were basically constricting down into the meat during the cook start coming out and going into the meat. That makes the meat overall more moist. So I've given the turkey about 20 minutes to rest, and so I'm going to go ahead and cut into it now. I do want to mention that you can find, if you're looking to learn about how to use this cooker and all its functions and features, there's a full review of it here on the channel. Also, I mentioned the Ninja Foodi XL Pro Air Fry Oven. Full review of that, and turkey cooking that. And I do even side-by-side comparison of this cooker with the Ninja Foodi XL Pro Air Fry Oven in the review for this cooker. And so you can check all that out on the channel here. And so here's our turkey meat. It's dripping juicy to me. Looks like it's dripping juicy. I'm going to just kind of cut this off here just to make some slices for myself, some pieces to eat. Seems like that meat's, the skin's pretty strong and firm there, so that's cool. The meat's seeming kind of tender, which is also cool. So I'm going to go ahead and try and do a taste test here of the turkey. So thank God for this turkey. I'm going to go ahead and do a taste. Try one more. Gotta make sure it tastes good. Okay, I'm just kidding. It tastes great. It's tender and it's juicy. So it came out very well. Did a very good job on the cook. I do want to mention that when it comes to cooking turkey, after you cook it, you want to get all the meat off the bones except maybe the drumstick and the wing. If you want to keep that on, you can, as far as keeping the meat on the drumstick and the wing. But you want to get all that meat and all and everything removed from the rest of that bone carcass there. You don't want to leave that, or a little while later you'll be like, what's that smell? Why does that smell like that? Depending on how long you keep things in your fridge or whatever. But get it all off the carcass except for the drumstick and the wing. That's for your health. And also I wanted to mention nothing in this video is sponsored. And so basically in the video description there's lots of ways to help the channel, such as my cookbook, merch, membership, donations, the link to the Amazon shop, and all of that good stuff there. And so if you did like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe, hit that notification icon, and good eating.